Hi, class. Professor Graham here, welcoming you to our Accelerated English 1B course. I am sending you this, first of all, to say welcome. I am so glad you're here. I adore teaching this class. I hope you enjoy the selections I've made. And I'm just going to kind of dive right into it, okay? So I'm going to share my screen. While I'm doing this, you might want to set yourself up to take notes because you are welcome to take notes and submit them for extra credit on your first engagement activity. All right, so I have a couple goals that I'd like to share with you before I get started. My objectives are to, first of all, kind of show you how to become a little bit more comfortable on Canvas, especially if this is your first time using it. And if it's not your first time, that's okay too. I'll go over it rather quickly. So hang tight, keep watching. And the other thing I'd like to do is kind of walk you through what to expect from this course and how to navigate the class as I've set it up. Okay, so first of all, regarding Canvas, there up here in the corner, upper left corner, there's a circle. And if you are brand new to Canvas, this is your first day, or if you've been using it for a while and never added a photo, maybe you didn't know how, this is essential. This can be your first task. You can just click on that circle. It should open up. You'll have your profile option. Click on the circle and upload an image. You can include a brief biography if you'd like or not. It doesn't matter. The other thing you can do from here is to choose your notifications. So you can set up how often you want to hear from Canvas and about what. So I'll let you do that on your own, okay? But please do set up your photo as soon as possible. Now, on okay, so while we're here on the sidebar, I'll just continue just for a second here. The rest you can kind of explore on your own, but the one thing that I do want you to be aware of is the inbox button here. This is how you'll contact me. So you should see in the upper right-hand corner a blue box that says compose. So you just click on that and then you can contact me there. That's how you write an email in Canvas. Again, if this is brand new to you, that is how you contact me. Uh, Looking on the front page, the home page of our course, if you look at it, you'll see at the top there, that's where the announcements come in. Now, make sure whatever I kind of point to you here, I'm not going to go through and read everything to you. As you can imagine, I would probably put you to sleep. But please do read through the announcements. This information is there for you, and some of it you might find pretty interesting. Now, if you notice, the course is made up of a syllabus module, a student resources module, and then one that says Module 0, course begins here. After that, you have Module 1, 2, 3, and 4. Short story or short fiction is the first module. Well, actually, we'll go over this in a second. So this is our whole course. This is kind of, you guys don't have a textbook. So all of the coursework, this is the equivalent of a textbook here. So first things first, let's look at the syllabus together. This I'm going to go over in detail in this video. So And while I'm doing this, I'm also going to show you how to navigate how the course is intended to work, okay? So the first page has a little letter for me and lots of information. Go ahead and read that later. But note here, down at the bottom, it says click next to turn the page. If you think of each of these as a page and this as our book, then this will be a lot easier to navigate. The worst thing you can do, I can tell you, is to try and go to the calendar and navigate it from that because you won't have control of it, I can tell you. So anyways, here we are in our syllabus, and the first page is my contact page, how to reach me, both via email and Zoom. So this is always these, again, remember all of this will be available to you for the whole semester. So if you ever need to email me, again, there's the Canvas inbox, but here's also a link to that. And then if we ever set up an appointment to meet, which you are not obligated to do at all, it's optional. If you ever want to, I'm available for you. And we would meet by appointment via Zoom. The office hour listed is just kind of a formality, to be honest with you. I'm available as per your schedule. So we would just simply meet by all you'd have to do is click this link and it will take you right to our meeting place. And again, here's another link to my Canvas email. It's the same darn thing, you guys. So there's 3 links right there. And again, I'm going to say this a bunch of times, but remember to read all of these pages. I'm going over them rather quickly and addressing some of the most important information, but you might find details in here that you were wondering. So for example, what I do mention here on this page is that if you're emailing me about an assignment, if you have a question for me, please do so and please do so in advance of the assignment and expect at least a 24 to 48 hour response. So if you have something last minute and you email me, you could potentially miss a deadline. So make sure to stay ahead of these dates and ask questions in advance. But in any case, just remember to be patient and to allow at least 2 days between response and if you do send me an email. I'm usually pretty quick about it. So let's move on to this course, right? So the course catalog description explains that this class is titled Critical Thinking and Writing About Literature. It is for 4 units, and the catalog description says critical thinking and writing about literature develops critical thinking, reading, and writing skills applicable to the analysis of prose, poetry, drama, and criticism from diverse cultural sources and perspectives. Emphasis on the techniques and principles of effective written argument, some research. So the required textbooks and materials class, there are no required textbooks because all of the materials are required here. You may have to find the play on Amazon Prime, but I'll come back to that in just a second. What you do need is internet connection, a computer or laptop, an email address, and your brain, right? Your thinking caps. But all of the course materials are provided here. All right, so later on your own, please read through your student learning outcomes and the course objectives. All I did was hit next. And here we are on the policies for plagiarism, attendance, late work, and revisions page. So the attendance policy for this class is there is no attendance policy. It's an online class and asynchronous, which means you your main goal should be to do your best and meet those deadlines, right? But if you get sick, that will not buy you time on an essay. Everyone does have the same deadlines. Um, or if you're going on vacation or something like that, reach out to me and make arrangements to submit work early. But because this is an online class, there is no attendance policy. There's no need for authorized absences. However, that information is here for you regarding other classes, usually face-to-face classes. So late work, you're probably more interested in. So late work for this class, remember it is an accelerated class, so there's only a 3-day window between due date and when late work can be accepted. All late work will incur a 25% penalty off the bat, and it will receive a 0 on the third day. So that's the late work policy. You can read it here, and there are no exceptions. So the good news, though, is that revised work is readily accepted in this class. You are more than welcome to submit any work after it's been revised within 24 hours of receiving the grade in the first place. Usually students reserve this for essays, but it does apply to homework as well. Plagiarism is unacceptable. All work is scanned for plagiarism and AI work. You can read more about that in the details on this page. For assessments in this class, you'll have essays and assignments, right? So what to expect. The reading assignments, there'll be a reading assignment with each short story, novel, chapter, the play, and there won't be any reading assignments for the final module, actually, the poetry. But every week you'll have reading assignments, and they're usually short answers. And then each one should be supported with a cited quote from the text. There'll also be a weekly discussion forum. Uh, Actually, it's not weekly, but there's one per module. So you'll have one discussion forum per module. I do advise sometimes doing them all on on the replies on the same day that you originally post, if possible. If other students have already started. Obviously, not everyone can do that. The first and second and third may not be able to do that, but anyone after that, I do advise it because this class does go pretty quickly. So just a warning, you're not obligated. You usually post an original submission on, say, a Tuesday, and then replies will be due within 2 days. So whatever day it lands on, it's within 2 days, replies are due. All right, and then you'll have 4 essays this semester, one per module, and we'll go over that in a second. But all essays will be uploaded via Canvas. They should be typed in Times New Roman, 12-point font, double spaced. Anything submitted outside of that will be returned to you, and you will have to resubmit it. I have included a lecture here, this link in with the essay discussion that will help you format your paragraphs for this class. This class uses a specific paragraph format, and I do look for that when I grade. So if nothing else, look at the lecture on that before writing your essay. Okay, lastly, you have competition of or computation of grades, excuse me. And they're the usual thing, you guys. The point they're by points, and then they go into percentages. Final grades are as listed. So make sure to read that on your own time. Student, some codes of conduct, all right. This kind of coincides with the policies, but student conduct basically says be kind to your fellow classmates and to me, and we'll all work together. But read the specifics there on your own time. Plagiarism, we have already gone over. Academic honesty is a continuation of the plagiarism and kind of envelops uh, AI, which I'll talk about in just one moment. So, feedback for this class. Feedback will come in several forms. First and foremost, your homework assignments and formal essays will have comments from me, long, extensive comments, and then you'll have a rubric as well. You'll also receive emails from me throughout the week with general comments to the class about production and staying on task. And then you'll also get feedback from your peers, although you are not feedback about the material, not about your like not an assessment, not a grade, but you'll get to interact with your peers and get feedback from each other and replies. All right. This rubric is available to you this will on every essay assignment, and you can also read it here. Now, this is obviously an issue in writing classes. I do have a zero tolerance for AI in this class. If a class, everything in this class is submitted online and it will go through an originality check. This includes discussion posts and obviously essays, but also homework. So literally everything in this class will be reviewed for AI. If you if 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 a submission turns up as AI, I'll have to require that you meet with me via Zoom and we'll discuss it. Future either whether you drop the class or you stay and it happens again, then you'll probably fail. So, we'll have to talk about that. Hopefully, it is not an issue this semester, but it is something I'm very serious about, and I would like for you to read this policy on your own. All right. Now let's get to I'm gonna come back out of the syllabus and move down through the class. We're gonna go wide a little bit here. So you have a student resources section here, class, and this will have, I want you to look at this on your own just to see if there's anything that pertains to you. There are student support services here for you. There are library reference links and a quick reference for Canvas help if you ever need a little bit of extra help with Canvas. So I'd like to dive right into the actual modules. So this one is actually your first step in the class. But if you, what I'd like to do is, first of all, kind of again, remember I'm going wide and then I'm gonna zoom in on some things. But I'm gonna open these up so you can see a pattern that's established in all of these modules. And it will help you to set up some good habits for yourself. So, notice how each module begins with objectives and assignments. And so while you may feel tempted to go right to an assignment, they're all assignments. So the first page in the module will be objectives and assignments. Start from the top and read your objectives. There are links to assignments, and then I mean they're all this is yours. This is your map of the module. The pages move just so mine is going to look different than yours. It's kind of seeing it from backstage. But if you start with the objectives, you have links to assignment, but if you just turn the page, you could do this one by one, and you'll see that it kind of starts with the intention for you to do that. Now, your first reading assignments, this is for short stories, you'll have 6 short stories total. One of them, this Kate Chopin, is only a page and a half long. So don't be overwhelmed. Some are a little bit longer than the others, but for the most part, they're less than 10 pages long. So you have links to the text itself right here. First, you have biographies on each of the authors. I strongly suggest watching these biographies, taking notes, and using these notes to help form your opinions about the literature and understanding the themes of the authors. You know, where they lived, the time zone, or not time zone, excuse me, the era in which they lived helps inform some of the themes, some of the symbolism, a lot of the meaning in these stories. And so it'll help you understand it. It will also help you when you go to write your essays, because the introduction of literary essays usually includes, there's my cat, you guys, that's Henry. The introduction of an essay about literature, any kind, should usually include an introduction of the author itself. Okay? So you have background information on the authors, then you have reading questions. You also, just for fun, have the film. I looked on YouTube and found, I guess you could call it film version, but video film adaptation of these short stories. So you can watch them maybe in advance of reading it or afterwards. And it might actually help you understand it even that much more, or even just enjoy it that much more. So that's how I've kind of set up each assignment, is that you have a biography video, the actual readings, again, they're kind of easy to overlook. I'll add a title here to make it more clear. But here are the pieces themselves, and then you'll want to read the directions carefully. A lot of students try and skip over this, but this is where you can make sure you do it right every time. And then you have the reading questions. Feel free to cut and paste the reading questions into a blank Word document and enter your answers in between. You know what I mean? And then just make sure you're including a cited quote to support each answer. All right, so those are your first 2. Now I'm just going to kind of show you that then you have 2 more. And again, it's all structured the same. Now this one, class, if you just click on watch on YouTube, it should open up. Right. So didn't want you to overlook that. All right. Okay. So I'm going to back out a little bit here, you guys, and go back to showing you how to navigate the class a little bit. So here's the module. you start with your objectives and assignments. Here you have 2 lectures, and you'll want to take notes and submit them. The due dates are listed right under the assignment. So you see when these are due. Oh, I see one. Some of these dates will be fixed. Just noticing them. They're still from last semester, so I'm glad I caught that. Okay. So anyway, where you look though is for due dates is here. And on the side, right-hand side, you'll probably have in this coming up list, you'll have assignments listed here. But the class is intended to be read top to bottom, page by page throughout each module. When a student reaches out to me and says they're confused about something in terms of the class itself, I almost 100% guarantee it's because they're not following this along the way it's intended. So just make sure you do that. Do not try and do this from the calendar. It will not work. Okay. So again, I'm not going to go too far into detail. I just wanted to show you that how this is intended to work, that it'll start with your objectives and assignments, then it'll go through the assignments, and then you'll have your discussion post, and your essay will be the final piece in the puzzle of each module, and then the next one starts. So especially in a short-term class, make sure to just keep going. At the very least, look at the objectives and assignments page and see what's coming your way. Okay. So, before I get too far down the line, so what to expect? Let's go back to your very first thing that you'll need to do is in module 0. And this is just so you can get familiar with class content, review the syllabus as we've just done, but kind of read it in more detail. The first very assignment you have is the engagement activity. There are some tutorial videos for anyone who's new to online learning. Sorry, I'm getting my tongue tied. Or to Canvas. So there are tutorials available for you here in this module. It's not required that you watch them if you are familiar with Netiquette and online learning and Canvas. Then you can skip all of those and go right to this engagement discussion. Click on discussion after reading the details. And these are the same details that were in the other one. And then hit reply and get started. Once you've completed the engagement activity by your first post, please move on to that first short story first short story module. There we go. All right, you guys. I'll have these dates ironed out by the time you see them, but you're welcome to get started on the syllabus and send me any questions you may have. Send me your notes. I really look forward to meeting all of you and reading your homework and your essays this semester, and just getting to hear your thoughts about all of this wonderful literature. All right, you guys, that's it. I will talk to you very soon. Have a great semester. Bye.